Hi there guys. Right, if you've been watching my channel for a while, or if you're new, basically you'll know that I'm into my carp fishing, and I recently did a spot of surface fishing, a bit of stalking basically, and then the little one turned around and said, I want to have a dabble at that. Yeah, so that's the reason what we're doing. We're doing a rod review. Now, it's not an expensive rod, yeah. This set actually came in at 31 quid, just under by pence basically. And it's the NGT Profiler rod. It does come with reel and also line. Yeah, it's all spoiled up, saves messing about and all that lot. I will change it, but it is what it is. But for the basic fundamentals of carp fishing, for well under 50 quid, yeah, you got your basics there, right? So all she needs now is a hook and a bit of bait. Yeah, don't need any float or anything like that. So this, what I've got here, is the NGT Profiler. Yeah, it's not an expensive rod, but I'm going to pull it all out. It's a 4-piece travel rod. Yeah. Now, I used to have its older brother back in the day, which was the NGT Diamanic Travel Carp Rod. Now, apart from the colour and a couple of wraps and stuff like that, actually on the actual whippings, there's not really a great lot of difference. Now, the difference is what between this and what I had was, one, the colour, like I say, the wraps. This one is 9 foot. I used to have 11 foot. Yeah, so obviously these, you know, are going to be a bit longer. But that is a rod all broke down. As you can see, it's not very big whatsoever. Yeah, so if you're worried about space in your car, say you got like a little Fiat 500 or something like that, you ain't got no boot space, well, that ain't going to take up no boot space. You chuck that in your foot, well, just chuck it anywhere. Yeah, it is tiny. Right, so I'm going to go through all 4 sections, and we'll start off with the reel seat section, so the butt section. Right, it is a really grippy shrink wrap. Yeah, I'm forcing my hand to go up on that. It is a very grippy rod, so as you're casting out, you know for well it's not going to be slipping out your hands like some of the rods do. Same diameter shrink wrap, yeah, not any of this old style where it's bulky one end and it gets bulky here as well. All those days are gone. It's all about slim profile now. That also aids in your actual cast. Thinner the rod, further you'll actually cut it through the air, yeah, because it can throw faster. You got a metal butt cap on there what's got the NGT logo. Put it the right way up for you. It is going to scratch off over time, as you well know. It's got a really sexy carbon here, if you can see it. Really sexy. Now, it is carbon all the way through. It is not just that part. It is carbon all the way through. But this is obviously woven carbon. And then it just goes to a basic carbon, which is more resin sort of thing. Hence why you don't see this. But this is all varnished over. Reel seat itself, it's called Sea Guide. Never heard of it, but obviously it's on the rod. Looking at that, you can take that all the way off. Now it does, yeah, you can actually slide it off for whatever reason, for like maintenance, when obviously you get all the spod mix and horrible nasty stuff in there. You can actually just take that off, which is pretty much a good thing actually. A lot of rods don't do that. You can give it a nice little clean down and wash off and stuff like that, and brush off and whatnot. So that is that section. Your next section only has 1 ring on it. I've measured it. That is a 30mm diameter butt ring. Yeah, very, very small for us carp fishing. But bear in mind, this rod is for my little one. She's only about 3 foot tall. She doesn't need a major size rod. Hence why we bought this 9-footer. Yeah, it's 3 times her height anyway, isn't it? She don't want a 12-foot rod. But I use a 9-foot rod for my stalker fishing, and I'm 6 foot. Yeah, I do like to use the shorter rod. So 30mm there. Doesn't need to be massive. Not casting the surface fishing rod very far. Obviously, if you want to be going for long distance, then this rod is not going to be for you. Right. Next section is 2 rings. They're getting very smaller. That is roughly between a 16mm. It might even be 14mm looking at that. Yeah, between 16 and 14. And then the tip section, the very final one. 4 rings on it. They are going a lot smaller rings. Now, the rod itself itself, it's designed to be an all-round rod, so you can literally use it for any type of angling. Yeah, it has got a really nice tip ring on it, and it's an anti-frap tip, so it is not going to be getting that line twisted around there very easily whatsoever. So if your line does go over, you can cast it, and you don't need to worry about ping, oh, you snapped your tip off. Yeah, it is going to actually go over there, and it's all in all quite nice. Now, for me, these rings are a little bit small, but for surface fishing, not casting out very far, etc., they don't need to be big rings anyway. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to build the two sections together. So the top section. Now, on the weight wise, it says between 20 and 50 grams. Yeah, what that means in English, I don't know. Yeah, because normally a cart rod is done by like 2.5, 3 pound test curve. Yeah, grams, I don't understand. Is it like a match sort of scene? I don't know. But what I'm going to do now, I'm actually going to rest this on the floor. I'm going to do it two ways. So I'm actually going to do it with the tip going downwards and then also the tip going upwards. So really, when the tip's going upwards, that's testing the backbone for the cast and then also the play for the actual fish as well. I'm going to see if there is a difference, and I'm going to tell you what I think it is just on the tip. Right, so that's the fish pulling it downwards basically, and if I send it the other way around, so tip facing downwards, yeah, it's got more backbone, but there's not a huge amount in it. Yeah, but there is more backbone, so it has got more casting ability to actual playing a fish. Yeah, it will actually take a little bit more force. So what we're going to do now is build it all up as a rod hole. Fair contest, got to build them all straight. And then the end one, a bit dark over that side. So real C, line that up. Very anal when it comes to this. So now I need to go a little bit longer over, so I'll rest that on there. And then as a rod, so this is the fish pulling it basically. So I've got to push down, so the rings are facing upwards, as you can tell on the camera there, it's facing up. I need it on the floor really. Let's try and get it on the floor. And then backbone. There's not a lot of difference between backbone and then the actual rod itself. It's very, very hard to feel the difference. There is a difference, but it's very, very minute. But me personally, test curve, I'd say between 275 and 3 pound. Yeah, I won't go no higher than that. I won't go no higher. It's definitely not a 3.5 pound test curve rod. Far from it. But for the thickness of it, I wouldn't have thought so, and the materials anyway. Right, so what's it pull apart like? Nice and stiff. So you know, for you're not going to have to worry about when you cast it, some of the sections are going to go flying off. Yeah, so that is those two. So that's a rod broken off actually. Another thing what I want to test is just pop it on the floor with the two sections, which is how we're going to mainly use it. So if I do it with the spriget and also the tip ring, yeah, butt section's on the floor, that's on the floor. Right, so this butt section is actually a little bit longer. Now, what I'm thinking is this for pack down, because I'm old school. The way I pack the rods down is break the rod in half, ring to ring, and then that's how I put them away. So the rings are joined up there together. Yeah, get them together again. Right, and then down this end, they're the same length, because I don't want that sticking out, and then obviously the weakest part of the rod sticking out, goes in the rod bag, hold or whatever, snap, and the rod's dead. Yeah, so that to me is fine. Yes, it sticks out a little bit on the top. Me personally, I prefer them when they're both the same length like, but they're not for whatever reason. But overall, for a cheap rod, I'm pretty impressed with that actually. I know it's only a little one having it, but I'm pretty impressed with this rod, to be all fair. And especially for its price as well. So we'll break it apart. So if you're looking into a rod just to get you out and about on the bank, just to give yourself a bit of fishing, look at the NGT Profiler. Yeah, got my vote. I'd actually say, yeah, it's all good. Like I say, this is 9 foot. I believe I had to do different sections, so 12, 11 and so on like that. Obviously, I got this off eBay, so there's going to be the other versions on there as well. There might be different test curves actually in them as well. But because I use the 9 foot for stalking, the little one, I know she's going to be fine with 9 foot as well. So that's the reason why we went obviously this size. So, yeah, I'd actually say it's got a decent vote. Reel wise, I wouldn't go putting a big reel on there. If you're going for maximum size, I'd go max 5000 series, yeah. So the size of the small 5000. I wouldn't be putting like a 14 on because you're just going to frap up. The line's going to be hitting the rod. It's not going to go through that 30mm butt ring very clever, and you're just going to be literally frapping the rod like crazy. So 5000 series or smaller, say like a spinning sort of size reel, you could be fine with that. Yeah, 5000 at the push. So if you're wanting that little bit more distance, but why would you want to be trying a 9 foot at distance? You just generally wouldn't. So 9 foot at a push, you're looking about 75 yards, and I mean that is at a serious push. Yeah. So other than that, it's got my vote. If you like this video, like, subscribe, have a watch of some of the other videos what I've got on there. Thanks for watching. See you later.